Good evening, OPNS family. Listen, I know you say, okay, wait a minute, Shanta, what we got going on here? We don't know when you're gonna go live. Well, that means God is increasing our territory here at OPNS 97.1. Tonight we have none other than Miss Bella Biz, aka right here in the building. What we're coming to do tonight, this is an extension of our Wellness Wednesdays. Yes, we care what you eat because what you eat has a lot to do with how you look. Amen, ladies. Amen.
Amen.
You're going to shine from the inside out. So, listen, we have a phenomenal guest tonight, and she is no stranger to the live cooking world. We're going to let Bella read off her bio to you and introduce her. But let me tell you something. Any of you that have been struggling with, you know what, I don't know what to eat to maintain this. I don't know what to do to maintain that. I keep shedding the pounds and putting back on 30 more. Tonight is the night. Tag your cousin, your friend, your uncle, your grandmama, your baby. Okay, yeah, your baby mama.
Yes.
All of those people. We want to get them on the line because here at OPNS, my thing is we grow best together. And I believe that God is continually blessing for us to have this type of meet and greet. So, Bella, I'm going to turn it over to you for you to introduce our awesome Wellness Wednesday guest.
All right. This is OPNF 97.1. I know y'all risk my voice. Here we go. Let's get into it. Tiffany Kelly is a native of Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn in the house.
Woo!
Winning personality and a heart for people. She's a national speaker, coach, author, educator, and media personality. Oh, yes, she is. Tiffany is the CEO of Tiffany D. Kelly Consulting, a conglomerate dedicated to providing services that help women improve their health by learning how to make their self-care a priority. And I do mean a priority.
Come
In
on.
addition, she's the founder of Fit Teach, a division of her company dedicated to bringing more awareness to the importance of being a well educator. She is an educator in the system, y'all. Just check that one too. Tiffany is an American best-selling author. Her books include Lady of Power, 31 Mind, Body, and Power Inspiration for the Weight Loss Journey. Oh, I want that one. Fit Teach, Self Care Planner, a contributor in the book, and she's awesome women on the move, inspired by Daily Journal. And she's recently released her first cookbook, her very first cookbook, y'all. Yay!
Yay!
It's called Cooking Healthy with Tiffany, named after her popular live cooking series that was featured on Facebook. Tiffany is a recipient of several awards and has been featured on television, radio, in magazines, and as a speaker at conferences and retreats. Her own personal journey of losing over 80 pounds. Yeah, I said it, 80 pounds. I need to do 50, Tiff. And rising above the many weight loss of challenges inspires so many people. She's a determined person to help people live healthy, happy, and free. Again, I said live healthy, happy, and free. OPNS family, without further ado, I'm excited. I'm not going to do no cartwheels tonight. I announce to you, introduce to you, to some, the first time, Tiffany Kelly. Hey, Tiffany.
Ah, yay. I love
How's it going? How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. We ready to learn something. What you say about that, Sean?
that today. Come on in the room. Come on in the building.
Yes.
Look, we must have been having too much fun because it just froze up. We sending some waves through this here.
No.
Hi, Tiffany. Welcome to OPNS. How are you, beautiful?
I'm doing wonderful tonight. I cannot complain. How are you all doing?
We here. We are here. And listen, I agree with Belle. I want to know about the cookbook and how to lose that weight and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm ready.
Absolutely. We're gonna start. So I thank you all for having me. And every time I get an opportunity to cook, I'm like, yes, I can't wait. This makes my day. So I'm really excited about that. We will get started. Today I'm actually creating, but before I do that, y'all, I have to, it's a tradition when Tiffany cooks live that I gotta have my music to get started. So tonight I got a Mary music song tonight. So I get my music together. That gets me in my zone. So y'all gotta
okay.
My trademark. People who follow me, they already know I'm gonna start with some music. So y'all gotta hold on a minute. We gotta get this music. So you know, I gotta find me some music. Let's see if it's working. Okay, here we go. It's coming.
I can get that. I think I like that one myself. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs. So I have different intro songs that I like. So tonight is Mary, Mary, Go Get It.
Go get it.
Right.
Go get your blessing. I know that one.
Yes.
You're not the person they see.
Yeah.
I love you. They gotta rock me for a minute.
Yeah. Come on, rapper. Let's
Come
get us
on,
in
rock
the
it.
mood. Ah, yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your dreams and you got your prayers and you got your God. He will turn you around. Everybody
Hey. We need to spin and ball.
Yeah.
been working, waiting, this what you
All right, ladies.
Go get it.
Go get it.
Go get
Go get
it.
it.
Hey.
Go get
Go
your
get
blessing.
Go get it. Go get it.
What? Because it's your time. Yeah.
It's your
It's your time. Go get it.
All right, y'all. I had to start there. Woo!
Amen.
And we
Yeah.
got the music.
Oh yeah.
Listen, love it.
Yeah.
Yes. So I always start my cooking shows when I started back in 2018. And moving forward, that's my trademark. When I start, I gotta have some music.
Right.
Music is whoo. So I used to play the piano when I was a kid.
Okay.
And so as my piano teacher had these long statements I had to learn. And
Okay.
music is a universal sound. And so it's like that thing that makes you happy when you blue, makes you even more excited when you're excited. And so I love to play music when I cook. I love to play music just because when I go walking on my the trails, where I'm at, I got some music.
Okay.
And now I may not know all the singers, but I got some music.
That's me. That's me.
I can sing the song. Who sang that song again? But Mary, Mary is one of my favorites. I love some Mary. Mary J. Blige, one of her songs, one of my favorite songs I always play as well. Big, it's gonna be big. That's another one of my songs.
Okay.
And so I always start with music because it makes me happy, gets you excited, gets you in the mood. So that's what y'all don't mind me starting out like that. I'm gonna start with some music.
That's fine. At least we know that we gonna have a
Yes.
Christian Club Central every Wellness Wednesday. I'm good.
Yes. I'm having my whole list of songs every week.
That's awesome. Okay.
So tonight we're doing actually what I call one of my classic meals.
Okay.
So this meal, this recipe and I go way back. Matter of fact, Bella, back to the training days. It started in the training days.
Uh-oh.
We were working out together actually because I train, to write these meal plans. I'm like, what in the world? I said, girl, I'm tired of egg whites and oatmeal. Help me out here. And she's like, oh, you just throw them together. She was like, put them together. So I was like, put them together? Okay. So I went home, put them bad boys together. I started throwing my other stuff in there, because I love oatmeal, but I was sick of oatmeal. That's how much I was eating of it, because I could eat oatmeal every day, but I was like, okay, I'm done. Hello, help me out here.
Okay.
And so what ended up happening, I ended up creating an oatmeal pancake. And so there's some people in like, it's not, don't expect to be your regular Aunt Jemima pancake now. Let's be for real. But it's a healthier way of doing things with very little ingredients, and it takes no time to do. And so what ended up happening is I started creating this oatmeal pancake, and then I started getting savvy with it. Matter of fact, I had it for breakfast on Monday. I posted that picture on my Facebook page. And so what I ended up doing is I started getting creative. I was like, well, I'm going to change this into a muffin. Oatmeal pancake muffin.
Wait a minute. Oatmeal pancake muffin.
Oatmeal pancake muffin. That's what it's called in the book. The oatmeal pancake muffin. I don't see my book over here.
I'm just gonna inbox you my my address, and I just need a half a dozen. Okay. All right. Go ahead with your oatmeal pancake muffin.
This oatmeal pancake muffin was like my savior because I was really busy. For the past couple of years, I've worked as a instructional coach to educators. So I'm coaching on both sides. I'm coaching my private business, and I'm coaching in my day job. But in my day job, I'm a coach to teachers. And so I would basically, I'm very busy. So I would leave work, go train, I'm tired. But this particular night, I said, you know what? I'm going to make this into a muffin. So I whipped it up with all the ingredients, and I decided to, add my little extra stuff to it, whatever. And I said, this is awesome because I can cook this at night. And then when I get up in the morning, I don't have to cook anything. I just basically put it in a Ziploc bag. I'm out the door, gone. So I'm driving to work. Don't do this anymore, y'all. But I was driving to work eating my muffins. Yeah, because I was always on the go. But this became my on-the-go meal to the point that my coworker, my teammate, shout out to Populous, she was like, girl, can I taste that? So I said, yeah, I'll bring you some next tomorrow. She was like, okay, how much are they? Can I pay you to make these for me? Because she enjoyed it. And even though I gave her the recipe, she was like, I still can't, they don't come out like, I said, don't worry, I'm gonna write it down for you, really, and make it all, organized for you. But anyway, the ingredients for this recipe is real simple. It's some, I like Quaker oatmeal. This is the Quaker Quick Oats. Now, if you do the old-fashioned oats, it's going to be slightly different.
Okay.
So, Quick Oats are the best ones. And so I use the Quaker Quick Oats, a half a cup of Quaker Quick Oats. I use egg whites, so I'm going to do 5 egg whites, because remember, I'm trying to get the protein. More so part of the egg. Now, I do at times use, like, say, 2 whole eggs, 3 egg whites, or you can go half and half. This depends on, like, for example, there was a time when I was training and I was cutting out so much fat from my diet. Mm-hmm. My cholesterol was extremely low, almost too low. I basically had cut out all the fat, and so my doctor was like, "You got to add some fat back to your diet." So I started eating the whole egg, because the whole egg is not necessarily a bad thing. It's what people put on those whole eggs and the oil and everything else they add to it that actually makes it a bad thing.
Now, Tiffany, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Bella got a question. I'm going to be transparent because Tiffany, you know me, right?
Uh-huh.
So what is the myth? I think it's a myth between the egg white and the yolk. Because I always heard the yolk, the yellow part is not good, but the white part is. Can you break that down, please?
It's not true. It's not true. Actually, even for it's actually it's a healthy fat. It's when you overdo it. I mean, think about it, when you add in the extra oil, the cheese, and all the other stuff you add to it. I mean, it's not necessary because it's not really bad for you because it's a healthy fat. So, like, it's just that you have to do it in moderation. So with me, I normally would do, let's say I may do some days, I'll do 2 whole eggs, 3 egg whites. But because back then I was training a certain way, she had cut out all out of my fats. But really and truly, and of course it lowers your calorie intake, when you take out the yolk. But for tonight, I'm actually just doing the egg whites. Because of course, it does add to the calorie count. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not necessarily a bad thing. Because as eggs, the whole egg is bad. Oh no, it's not true. And actually, a couple of years ago, I took a nutrition class, and that's when I really discovered that it wasn't a bad thing. Because in this nutrition class, they broke it down for us and why you need to have the whole egg. And
Thank you for that check. Yeah. Thank you.
And matter of fact, in the beginning of the class, they had us actually break down what we ate for breakfast that morning. And I'm thinking I'm doing a good thing. I'm like, yeah, I had oatmeal, 5 egg whites, and he said, well, Tiffany, he said, there's no fat in this meal. He said you still have to have a balance. And so that's when I started learning. And because they have been, shout out to Body Design University. That's where I got my personal training courses through at the time. Like, they taught us about nutrition, and they talked about that. Like, you don't necessarily have to cut out all of the egg because it's still good for you. It's what you do with it. And if you're overdoing it, when it's not a good thing. And so that's what I learned. And so as you continue to grow, you learn new things to add to your toolbox. And so when I would have clients, I was like, okay, well, let's do this. I want you to have a healthy balance of the fat. So let's do 2 eggs, whole eggs, and we're going to do 3 egg whites. So then you still get some good fat, but you also get that protein that you need. Because right now, these 5 egg whites that I'm about to make with this meal is about 18 grams of protein.
Okay.
So that's a good amount to get started for the day.
Got it.
Okay.
All right. And then I'm going to add a banana. I'm adding a banana with this. I love bananas. And then I have a little bit of cinnamon. So I don't have my nutmeg today. So I gotta forgive me. Today's one of them. Because my husband actually went to go look for it for me. I guess it's that season. And so And then I usually use lemon extract, but today I'm substituting with vanilla. Pray for me, y'all, because I didn't have that one either. So okay, you know, I'm gonna do what they do. You know what I mean? So, and then I'm adding. So this is normally what this recipe is made up of. Today I'm also going to show you also how you can add a little treat to it. So there's another recipe in the book that's more involved, but this one is so easy. And so this one here, I'm gonna add a couple of dark chocolate chips to it, just a few, just enough to give you a little, that's good, without being high in calories. So like literally like these little chocolate chips is only about maybe I think it's maybe 4 grams of sugar, something like that, and it's like 40 calories, if that.
So, I was gonna ask you, like, you created this because it was a good on the go, quick in the morning, we can get on the go. But because you are really zoned in to maintaining good health, and we're definitely going to talk about this 80-pound weight loss. Definitely got to hear about that. So if you could, as you are, you know, taking us through preparing this dish, could you tell us what the particular ingredients, how they aid in your weight management, because one of the things that I want people to understand is, you know, you're teaching us, you're going through this, but it's not really about because it tastes so great, even though we know that it does, but what are those beneficial factors to, you know what I'm saying, that 6 of those that you're going to mail to me, I need to know what I'm going to gain, you know, so yeah.
And that's why I actually talk about the eggs. So we know about the eggs now, right? We good.
Right. Right.
14 pieces as well. Now the oatmeal. So I always start with the oatmeal. I'm going to put, matter of fact, no, I take that back. I'm going to start with the eggs. So I normally, this little trick I've had from a lady I used to train with in Brooklyn back in the day. So I used to waste money trying to buy egg whites already strained.
Right.
So, so I basically toss the egg yolk over it to get the egg whites off of it.
Okay.
Right? And we'll put it in there. Same thing again. See how easy that was? So stop spending y'all money buying expensive egg white.
I can do that, Sean.
I can do that too. You should just taught me something.
Right? Real simple. Simple. And it's so funny. I've grown so much. I used to be so OCD. I was like, oh no, there's some yellow in there. I used to see and now it's gonna kill me. It'll be all right, you know. What I'm gonna do just because we talk about the balance. I'm gonna add 2 whole eggs into it, just for the balance for today.
Okay.
I got a little bit of fat in there, just a little bit.
And so to reiterate something you said earlier, in each meal, you always need a certain amount of fat. Did I hear that?
Some good fats.
Good fat.
Okay. Macronutrients. You know, you'll have a healthy proteins, carbs, and fats. And where people make the mistake a lot of times is that they strip their diet of the good fats. And I was one who did that before. But you still need good fats. Your body can't function. Look at my book. I talk more in depth about that. But your body can't function without good fats. Like I was telling one of my clients one time, you know, they strip all the carbs. I get all these new fads. And let me just say that, you know, I'm not knocking any of the fads that's out there, keto, whatever, you know, because what works for someone, right?
Right.
I'm not knocking it. So I'm very careful not to say, girl, you shouldn't do that. No, if it works for you, then more power to you. But all I can do is what works for me and share my journey. And I know that it's helped other people who I've worked with or have trained with me when I trained with my trainer back in the day.
Sure.
And so all I can do is go with what I know has worked, what I've seen work for others. And what ends up happening a lot of times is that I've seen people who have tried some of those other diets that will remain nameless.
Okay.
And they'll come back and be at square one all over again.
Yeah.
Their body couldn't survive without those healthy carbs,
Good.
fat,
Okay.
and protein.
Okay.
So,
that's good.
Know, they can do it for a while, but I learned also in my nutrition class for so long. So that's what I learned. I'm just sharing what I learned. I'm not a nutritionist, but I've studied enough, and I'll take my knowledge and share with others. And if it works for you, hey, go with it. And
now, Tiffany, you know I got to interject because I got to speak on behalf of those folks say, "Oh, that's too much. Oh, gram fats." Because I'm one of them people, and I don't read the label. I know I'm supposed to. Bella gonna keep it real, right? So what would you say? I know we can't do it all of it tonight, but just a couple of pointers on simple people like myself who like I don't really understand that. What's like a sip of 1, 2, 3 that we can start out very slowly, like.
And if you don't mind, I can type in the comments what you're saying if you want me to.
Yes.
I can do that.
Well, one that was said to get the in-depth part, get the cookbook, because I break it down in simple terms in the cookbook. And it's like dare the number 2 loveyou.com. They can use the code cook and get 10% off too. And so
to love you.
Dare to loveyou.com.
Okay.
And if they use the coupon code cook, they'll get 10% off the order.
Gotcha. Okay, keep going.
Let's keep it. So one of the things I would say is, there's a lot of things out there. I mean, keep it simple. Like, okay, healthy. So here's my biggest thing. Stay away from processed food. That's number 1.
Yeah.
So anything that's been packaged, easy to cook, they'll even sell it as nutritious, high in protein. But if you look at the label, the one thing you want to check is if it's packaged, especially, is the sodium count. Because usually it's high in sodium. And then if it has a whole gamut of a paragraph worth of stuff that you can't pronounce, then you know it's ain't good either. And so if it's more than like 5 ingredients, then they're gonna add some extra stuff to it. And it's not in natural form. You know what I mean?
Numero uno, Tiffany, for people. I keep it real simple. Sodium equals salt.
Salt.
Yes.
Salt.
Yes. Sodium equals salt. And salt leads to what? High blood pressure.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure.
Swelling. Yeah. Yeah.
And bloatedness, retaining of water, inflammation, things like that. And so one of the simple things is try to stay as natural as possible. You can't go wrong with fresh fruits and vegetables. You can't go wrong. Whole grains. I have a nut allergy, but nuts, things like not too much nuts, because nuts and seeds also can be high in calories. They're good fat, but you got to also eat them in moderation, and you don't want to overdo it. You want to watch your portion size because they also are high in fat.
So that means I shouldn't eat the whole can of cashews. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. A serving size is probably what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'll work on it.
I have a question that most people ask. What is your feeling about kosher salt? I see that in the stores, like kosher salt.
Yeah, I actually use some of the kosher salt for like certain recipes off of that. And so, but it's still salt. So I usually don't fool with it. Like if I use it in a recipe, I think one in my book, for example, it may be like 1/4 of a teaspoon. But it's to help enhance the flavor of the recipe. But it's still salt, so you don't want to overdo it, even when you're like cooking with it or seasoning your food after you cook it. Even with like sea salt, same thing. You don't want to overdo it. It's still salt. So you just want to use it in moderation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yep. So we talked about the eggs, and so we got the eggs, right? So now we're looking at okay, here's a fun fact, y'all, about the eggs. So y'all notice I use brown eggs. So I was just curious because I always pick up, a lot of times the one that are free range and things like that. But I wonder what's the real difference between white eggs and brown eggs. Have y'all ever wondered what's the difference?
Sure did.
I'm a farm girl, so I know the difference.
So you know the difference. So,
yes.
So I had to look it up because, I like to Google stuff. So I was like, okay, so there's no nutritional difference in a brown or a white egg. It's basically the color of the chicken. Yeah, that's what I was told. So basically, brown chickens that have, I think, the red ears or red feathers up here, they lay brown eggs. The white chickens lay white eggs. It's just that simple. Am I right, Shanta?
A little bit. We're gonna get into that.
That's what I read on the internet. So,
well, typically chickens don't have white eggs. That has a lot to do with the processing from the time it comes from the chicken. Because I've seen orange shell eggs, I've seen brown shelled eggs, I've seen like a light red hue egg. So when they get to the processing, it chemicals we know change everything. Right. And so when they go from the farm to the next step before they go to the store, a lot of times they're not white. So hate to. I want to throw that in on you like that, but yeah.
Oh, that's good education, right?
I was days back, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's the color of chicken. So now that means that they have, so the information is not slightly 100% correct, but I'm learning too. But that's what I read.
And you know what? That honestly, if you use the eggs, like there's a maybe the name will come to me, but there's a company that actually sells the eggs more closer to what they are, after the chickens have them. And you actually get the carton, and you can open the carton. There's a green egg in there, there's an orange egg in there, there's a blue egg in there, and the taste of the egg is significantly different.
Wow.
Eggland is one of the, yeah, and now us 99-cent, $1.99, $2.18 egg buying people. That is not going to be your reality with Eggland. Eggland is about $5.89 to $7.20.
Whoa!
But it's worth it. It's worth it. And once you go there, you really don't want to go back to the White House.
Interesting. So now I'm going to look for them.
Yep.
So that's interesting. So now we've learned some. So we've been educated. I've been educated. I'm an educator, but I love to learn new things. So so as we learn one piece of it, now learn another part of it. So hey, now we know there's a reason why they're different.
And let me know if it tastes different when you try those Eggland biscuits, because I believe that it will. But just let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know, definitely. All right, y'all. So now we have oatmeal. So oatmeal is one of my favorite meals. Can't go wrong with some oatmeal. Oatmeal is high in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber, which we need. It's good for weight control. It's good for maintaining blood sugar levels.
Yeah.
I know one of the things we talked about a long time ago with people who are diabetic. Like this is considered a good carb because it slowly gets into the bloodstream, opposed to where certain carbs will spike your blood sugar level. And so it's all around good. This stuff.
Yeah.
And so I love me some oatmeal. I like the old-fashioned oatmeal for other reasons. Like if I'm cooking like regular oatmeal and then I'll add some other stuff to it. But for the purpose of making my oatmeal pancakes or like the oatmeal muffin here, the actual quick oats is better because of the way it's grinded up. It's a little bit more finer, opposed to, as you know, the old-fashioned oats are thick. You can see them. So when people send me pictures, I get pictures a lot of times to my email, my inbox, sometimes even text message. I'm like, hey, Tiffany, what happened to my muffins? They don't look the same. I said, what kind of oatmeal did you use? Automatically, I already know what kind of oatmeal they use. I'm like, oh, there it is. So I mean, it still doesn't taste that much different, but the texture is going to be a little different. It's not going to be as smooth. So that's the difference. Okay. So I'm going to add this to my mixture. I have about a teaspoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. I hate them out of nutmeg. I usually add a little bit of nutmeg. Now, the nutmeg, you really want to be very sparing with the nutmeg because it will jack up your muffin because of the strong flavor. Even with the cinnamon, you want to make sure that you stick to the teaspoon because if you add more to it, it's going to really overpower the taste, and you don't want that to happen. Okay. So you don't want to do that. So I normally just mix that in here too. And then I'm going to whip it up together. I got my little whisk. One of my other favorite tools for the kitchen. I'm just going to whisk it and mix it all together here. So as I get it good and mixed together, I'm going to put this on the side for a second. I'm going to add a little bit of stevia in the raw, just a little bit to give it a little extra sweetness because it could be a little bland at times. So I'll add a little bit of stevia in the raw to sweeten it up a little bit. And I'm going to add it should be lemon extract, but we don't know what the vanilla for today. Okay. The lemon just gives it this flavor that I just love. I think it's because it reminds me of like when my grandmother, when they make like sweet potato bread and things, they always add lemon extract. So it gives something about the lemon extract that always gives it that extra little kind of flavor to it. So
little kick to it.
Yeah, but for tonight I'm gonna use the vanilla. We're gonna go with it. I'll still eat them, y'all. I'm still eat them. And now, so here's the fun. So when I first did this recipe years ago, I used to slice up the banana and cut it up and put it inside the mixture and whip it up. But about a year ago, I think it was about a year ago, I saw something where they were talking about how they mash the bananas up instead. So I was like, okay, so if I mash it up, you're going to get the flavor of it, but not necessarily the pieces of the banana in it. Because everybody don't always like the banana to be all pieced up in there. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right.
So I started mashing it. So I have 2 recipes in my book. The other one is more, it has more ingredients in it. This one is quick. I whip these up in the morning time or either in the, like I said, in the evening and make it ahead of time for breakfast. So I have them and I just mash them up. Now, I wouldn't make them have a super, super ripe banana, and I want to have a banana that's not ripe. So if I can want it in the middle. Now, this one's a little bit more ripe than normal because you can see it's a little brown.
Right.
But it's not too bad. So it smells good. I can smell it. So it's good.
And isn't it true, Tiffany, when the banana gets more ripe and brown, it's more sweeter?
It is. It gets much more sweeter. And my mom used to love them to make them when she makes like banana pudding.
Banana bread, meal banana bread.
She makes it. She likes them when they're really almost overripe. For some reason, whatever she does with it, I'm like, okay, mom, do you?
Go, mom.
Right. So once I mash it up, I'm gonna actually add it to this.
Robin F. David says it sounds delicious, Tiffany.
Thank you. And then I'm gonna whip it up. And there's another recipe in there too it's similar, but it has some other things in it. And those are really delicious as well. And I'm gonna stir this up really good.
You know what I'm realizing, Shanta?
Yeah.
COVID-19 has jacked us up because Tiffany's going to have to mail it to us, right?
But you see my comment, right? I know they sound great because I can't wait to get my 6 in the mail. I'm serious about the 6. I don't want no more than 6 because I may eat them all.
I made so I have like these called treat recipes in the book. One of them is quiche, and I made that for my book launch event. And my friend was like, "Oh yeah, so you're gonna have to make that for me so I can come by and pick it up. I'll just do a drive-by."
Right. Oh, Shanta, drive-by.
Yeah.
Drive-by.
Who is this? Kelly Stewart asks, "Aren't bananas fattening?"
No. Okay, so bananas can be fattening if they're high because they're a little higher in sugar. But again, that's with moderation. So a banana is I think it's about 85 calories, somewhere around there. And so it has about 12 grams of sugar. So of course, a banana is something that you don't want to necessarily eat 3 or 4 of those every day. So,
right.
So like if you're someone who you already know you're diabetic, then you want to limit how much you eat. You may do half of a banana. So half of that banana is about 40-something calories, and that may be about 6 grams of sugar. Because bananas are also good for potassium. They're good for us still. But again, it's like how much you're eating of them, and it's all about moderation. But if you have a health concern, that's something you cannot eat, then like if you're a really bad diabetic, and you have if you're diabetic, if your condition is not under control, then of course I wouldn't say you to eat bananas. I may say if you look at my cookbook, you can substitute. You can add blueberries to this. Blueberries are low on the glycemic level. They're not high in sugar. You can add strawberries to this. Strawberries are also low on the glycemic level. They're not high in sugar. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. But the blueberries, I've actually made these with blueberries before, and I've also made them with strawberries. So you can actually take out the banana if that's a concern for you, and you can add the blueberries or the strawberries. So again,
I like your experts.
Shanta, hold on. I got to do a shout out. Hey, Kelly Stewart, that's the follower. Kelly has a beautiful figure, so she represents all those hourglass figures.
Hi, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly, for supporting us. You go, Kelly.
My question was, statement and question. I do totally agree with that when you were talking about the moderation. With my last child, I was gestationally diabetic. Had never had diabetes. So you think when you're pregnant, that's when you want to eat everything, and definitely eating the fruits. But I had to learn that all of the fruits, not just bananas, that natural sweetness wasn't good for someone with diabetes. So I had to learn the portions, and because I'm big on smoothies in the
Yeah.
morning. So where, go ahead.
When you say smoothies, so smoothies, once you basically blend a fruit, it takes the sugar content up.
Uh,
Ah,
Once you blend them, it changes it.
yeah.
So you have to be so people say, oh, I'm doing smoothie, blah blah. Yeah, but how much you add in there? And if you're adding certain, you're basically increasing your sugar level because
Yes.
you know what you're adding to it. So you gotta
Yeah.
be careful with the smoothies too, what you're blending in that blender, because if it's like a banana or like you like mangoes, pineapples, things like, so when you start adding stuff like that too, which a lot of people do, you're increasing the actual sugar amount in the smoothie. Yeah.
Very good point. Thank you.
thank you,
But
Tiffany.
again, like you said, Shanta, like you have to know your status. So if you know that you're someone who has who's diabetic, then you have to also be educate yourself as to, okay, what can I and cannot have, because like some people can eat the berries and be okay, but like you said in your case, maybe you couldn't, and so now
Right.
okay, really doing the research and finding out, okay, because your body will tell you too. So which fruit can I really not eat, and which
Right.
one
Yeah.
can I still take a part in? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to know your body. You have to know what your doctors also recommend. If a lot of times if you're diabetic, you have a nutritionist, they will tell you certain things that you can try and then see how your body reacts to it. So it's all about knowing your status and doing what's good for you in moderation. Because that's why I'm really careful, especially as I began to grow as a coach. Like I can't tell certain people because everybody's body is different. So you have to
Yes.
you have to really know what that person is coming to you with in order to be able to say, okay, you can try this, or have you talked to your doctor about this? And then that's okay, now I can help you maintain it and help you create recipes and things like that.
Gotcha.
Because you don't want to give somebody the wrong information.
So
Gotcha.
Bella wants to make it known to the audience as we're doing this, please, in moderation, if it's something that you don't adhere to, absolutely don't follow it. Thank you, Kelly, for that. And thank you, Tiffany.
No problem. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna spray a little bit of cooking spray on the in my muffin pan here. This normally makes about 6 muffins. We'll see what happens. I've already in advance preheated my oven to 360 because you want to preheat it in advance so that way they normally cook in about 20 minutes or so. So don't take that long. Be quick. And so pretty much I'm gonna spray these and I'm gonna pour them in.
Now, Tiffany, have to. How many are you making tonight?
This normally makes 6.
See, look, I'm telling you.
Shanta, 3 for me.
No, but I asked for 6. No, I'll share.
You gotta do something with that, Tiffany.
And I can smell the bananas. It smells so good.
Wow.
This one has to be 5, looks like almost.
Tiffany, as you were preparing that, when I always say our pain pushes us to our purpose. I don't know what's wrong with my tongue tonight. It's too late. We don't normally do this time of night. Our pain pushes us into our purpose. And you can tell that you're very passionate about this. I know that there's a story behind it. And as I just shared, with my I had always been healthy as far as blood sugar and I knew I never dealt with any of that. And then to, be with child with my last child, it was like, okay, my body is letting me know, look, chick, you too old for this. Everything is going out of whack. And I had to learn me because my A1C was through the roof. And immediately, can you imagine my nervousness having to give myself insulin in my belly? That was my pain that pushed me to my purpose. Because see, psychologically for me, I'm stabbing my child. I understand that was not possible with that little needle, but mentally, I'm thinking anything that goes into my body is going to affect my baby. So I took in full speed ahead. It was like, okay, I got to learn how to do this. And I got to, for her, I don't even think it was more so for me. It was that mama bear thing kicking in. And within 3 months, me studying and me proportioning, I didn't have to take insulin anymore. But if I would not have completely changed everything, because I'm thinking, okay, I had a glass of orange juice for breakfast and I had a bagel with some blueberry cream cheese. I'm good. and sugar was sky high. You
The
know,
roof.
okay, well, wait a minute. I had some toast and some grapes. Sugar is sky high. So I had to learn that. So, and I like the way you said that, just learning you and knowing what to do. But that was my pain that pushed me to my purpose. What was yours that led you to be as awesome with this as you are?
Cool. I'm gonna put this in the oven so we can chat while this.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
I'll tell you.
Bella, I think I'm gonna share. I promise, because I love you. Okay.
Three for you, three for me.
But I asked first.
We're gonna go offline with that one. Everybody know me, Bella like to eat. And I don't like to cook.
We had that conversation about the lemon pepper wings last week, didn't we? Didn't we talk about those lemon pepper wings last week?
Nah.
Yeah. So, hey, Tawana, I see Tawana has joined.
Yes.
Tawana, I was on her show on Monday.
Hi, Tawana.
Hey, Tawana.
Thank you for tuning in.
Camera with y'all real quick. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I in a good space?
Yes.
So while we wait for our muffins to cook. So what pushed me into this space? Well, actually, sometimes I feel like I kind of fell into the cooking piece, but I really didn't, kind of, sort of. You know how things you're doing things, but you don't really know that, wait a minute, I'm good at this. So what happened, back in my 20s, I was diagnosed at like 22, I think it was, with high blood pressure.
Okay.
And I was actually coming from work one day and I was like, oh, I don't feel too good. So I walked inside this doctor's office, urgent care in Brooklyn, and they were like, oh my goodness, do you know that your pressure is 200 something over 100 something? How did you even get in here? I'm like, I don't know. You know, I'm 22. So I walked out that day with a script. And pretty much, back then, you don't know any better. So you got this medicine that's maintaining you. So I'm still eating fried chicken, this spot in Brooklyn called Mama's Fried Chicken. I'm going in there getting my chicken wings and my sweet potato pie and my biscuits and stuff and just living my best life as the weight just kept going up. And my pressure was still kind of maintaining, but I was still picking up pounds. And then, after a while, I started kind of doing something differently, but it still wasn't changing my status because I was still indulging in things that were really not the best choices. Fast forward a little bit. I moved down here to Georgia in 2005. I was about 230 pounds at that time. And I was lonely. I moved here. Most of my core family members were in New York. But my cousin is who I lived with at the time. And so basically she helped me get acclimated to being in Georgia. I worked in DeKalb County at a school there. But I was still lonely because I didn't have my friends and my family with me and who I really was close to. So I was eating my sorrows away. I was basically a closet emotional eater. I was also coming out of a bad relationship. I had a very bad track record of connecting with men who I should have been connected to. And so, just to be 100. And so I was leaving New York to get away from a situation also that I was sad about being in, where someone who I thought was going to be, in a relationship with, it ended up being it didn't happen. So now I'm down here, I'm alone, I'm in a new town, I miss my mommy.
Just eat. Yeah.
I gotta cook my own food. My mother was cooking everything. And I was sad. And so I began to eat. So literally I would order or discover lemon pepper wings, and I would eat them. I would eat them for lunch. I would eat them for dinner. I rolled through Checkers Burgers for the fish sandwich with a banana milkshake with fries every other day or so. There was a golden crust that had these amazing oxtails I would order the large almost every couple of nights, to the point that the people knew me through the drive-through by voice. They knew who I was. Like, oh, last week, who are you? Like, what? Like, next thing you know, I'm coming home one day. I don't feel well. I go to urgent care and I find out that my pressure is out of control again, like bad, to the point that they had to write me another script. So now I'm on 2 meds. And so at this point, and then I think like my highest weight, I called myself trying to do Weight Watchers. I went to Weight Watchers that day and I stepped on the scale. That lady told me I was 260 something pounds. I think it was 263 or something like that. And I was like, what? Like, are you serious? I was pushing a 42 triple D bra. I was wearing a size 22, 24 on certain days. And one year, I was in a new school district and we were going to a science conference in St. Louis. And we were coming back from St. Louis from this conference, and my coworker, because God will put people in your place that you don't even know who. He's sending you a messenger and you don't even know.
Ma'am.
I'm sitting there with my coworker. She don't even, I always tell her, I don't she even know how much her story impacted my life. And Miss Bennett began to tell me the story about her mother and how her mother had, been on high blood pressure medications for many years. She was ill, and how those medications affected her organs. And at this time, I was like in my 30s, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to die early because I'm on pills now. Like, what does that say for me 10 years from now? I don't want to die early. At that time, I wasn't married and having kids. I was like, I don't want to. So I got off the plane that day, and I went to the LA Fitness. I got me a membership, and I made a promise to myself that I was going to do better. And I began to change my food. So the first thing I did was I just stopped eating fast food. I started cooking, even though I wasn't cooking the most healthiest meals at home, but I cooked them. I wasn't rolling through a drive-through. And then I started drinking more water because a lot of us are water deficient. We don't drink enough water. So we're supposed to drink at least half our body weight. And a lot of times we barely making 64 ounces. And so I had to increase my water intake. And I started going to the gym. And then what I also did was a lot of times, when we lose weight, sometimes we reward ourselves with food. Oh, I don't drop that 10 pounds. I'm about to go get me a good meal. And, and so what happens, now we're back in that cycle again. You feel me? And so what I ended up doing at that time, that was when the Apple Nano and Nano Pods were out, the Nano, those Apple, you know what I'm talking about, right? To play the music. And I wanted one. And I never forget it. It was like $150 in the store. I said, nah, I can't spend that because I don't even know if I'm going to commit to even going to the gym yet. I was like, I don't want to spend this money. I said, okay, so if I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to buy me a nanopod. And so what I ended up doing is that I had a little big old CD Discman. I would strap it on my waist and get up in the morning and go to the gym. And I would listen to my music because I had to have some music. And when I dropped the first 10 pounds, I rewarded myself with a nanopod. And that was so that's how I began, because the doctors had already written me off. The doctor said, oh, it's hereditary. You're going to be on the rest of your life, blah, blah, blah. And I told them, I said, I'm going to show you better than I could tell you. I said, the devil is a liar. I'm going to show you better than I could tell you. And so I began to make that transition into trying to do things that were more healthy for me. And that's how it started. And then after losing the first 30 pounds, I went and got a trainer. I found her by accident, or not to say accident, nothing happened by accident. It was just God sent. And so when I looked at her picture, I was like, she competes? What in the world? I was like, if she can get me halfway like this, I'm good. And so not knowing that in 2013, I was going to actually compete and step on stage and compete. That wasn't even the cards for me. And so when I began the journey with the trainer, it was like the meals were bland. Like, I mean, she didn't know what, I can't say it was bland, but she gave me this meal plan. I'm like, I'm a big girl. What am I doing with this? Like, so I began to create stuff to make me be able to stay committed to the plan, because I knew that I had to get these pounds off. So I said, okay, if I learn how to be creative with my food, because I come from a family of cooks, I'm like, this will be easier for me to do because it got to be fun. And so I began to play around with my food, and then the weight started coming off. Then I became the poster child for the studio, and I would start teaching fitness classes for my trainer on Wednesdays for 2.5 years. And what ended up happening, the women in the classes, they would come to me and ask me questions about the recipes I would make. Well, Tiffany, how do you cook this? And how do you cook this healthy? How do you cook sweet potatoes healthy without putting all the sugar in it? How do you blah, blah, blah? And I would just start rambling off stuff to them. Oh, girl, I'll write that recipe down for you, and I'll send it to you, or I'll email it to you. I started sending recipes to people, and just sharing, because when you achieve something, you're supposed to reach back and get other folks. And
that's right.
And so pretty much I just want to help people. And so in helping people, I was discovering that I had a gift that I didn't even know until 2018, really. When I posted a black rice dish I made, and people were asking me, well, what is black rice? What is this? What is that? That's what I cooked on Tawana's show on Monday. and they were asking me all these questions. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do a video real quick and show y'all on Facebook Live. I'm tired of y'all sending me all. No, I'm just kidding. I was sending the recipe out, and people were inboxing me and asking me questions and calling me. I said, I'm gonna do a video so I can show y'all what I do. And I started doing this video, which I said, this was kind of fun. I'm gonna do this again next week. So I did another one next week. And then the third week came, I was like, this is really cool. I'm gonna keep going. And because I had all these recipes that I had created that I was just like when I would have clients, when I first started my coaching program, I would give them to my clients. I would just give them to people. Didn't think anything of it. And so I just thought, I'm gonna cook this one. I'm gonna cook that one. Oh, I'm gonna show them how I did this. And so then I came with this, cooking healthy with Tiffany. Let's just do this. So I ended up with about, I think it was 13 episodes, I believe. I had about 13 episodes, and what ended up happening, someone's like, you should write a cookbook. I'm like, cookbook? I'm not no cookbook. What are y'all talking about? And I said, after a while, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should write a cookbook.
Maybe I should. Right.
Yeah.
So with your recipes, okay, so just raise your hand if you're sure, okay? I've done the keto diet. I've done the what was it? The Nutri whatever, the stuff that you drink. I've done, I know I'm out of fingers how many diets I've done. Now, and with each one of them, I lose the weight. Okay. And see, I'm 6 feet tall, so I carry weight different. So, my reality. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, and so when I say to people I weigh blah, 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 they go, oh my God, you don't look like it, but that's because I'm tall. And I, blessingly carry it well. However, I knew, there was still some weight that I wanted to get off. So my question is, I would lose the weight, and then I didn't want to keep taking this whatever for the rest of my life to maintain and manage the weight. So it's like what I'm hearing, these particular recipes and the way you're actually, because, one person may say, because I heard you say earlier, well, I'm not a nutritionist. I believe that there are certain gifts that God just gives us and they work, and so this is obviously working for you. You look great. So it sounds like that what you're doing, and even in those areas where you're studying to show yourself approved, in those areas, these dishes that you're creating, would you say that this is a maintenance type thing, as opposed to me having to get up and have another vanilla shake? I got to get up and I got to have another chocolate shake. I'm tired of vanilla. I'm tired of chocolate. So now I'm going to add some caramel, and I done fell off the wagon just because I want it to taste different. But with what you're doing, it seems like it's more of a helping me manage. Would that be correct?
And if you select some of the, if you actually, like in my book, I have, like, for example, there's a section. I'm gonna show this to you. I want to show this to you. And where's my? Here we go. So in my book, I have a whole section in the front. It's the very first chapter. It's called nutrition tips and meal prep essentials. So that's actually my food that I prepped over there. That's my food. And basically, I'm basically teaching you about basic nutrition. So people who really don't understand, like, this is basic. I try to keep it, because I'm very simple. Like, don't give me all the extra mumbo jumbo, because you just keep it simple. Like, simple, where I can really understand it and go with it. And so pretty much what I've done is that I actually created this to help people have a simple way of understanding, because you can use it to help you maintain or even move. Like, for example, in the back of the book here, I have a resource here. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see.
It's a little blurry, but we got you.
So, like, I even have a resource here with you can tell I'm a teacher, right? Venn diagram. Where I actually give you examples of good carbs, good proteins, good fat, and I help you understand, like, how you can choose. And so, there's a link here where you get this little printout. This is actually an example, because I use my own stuff. Where I even include, if you go in the back of the book, there's a URL where it has an actual thing called Cooking Healthy Meal Planning and Prep Tools.
Awesome.
So it's actually, like, this is one of mine from last week, where I actually mapped out for myself my meals. Like, I mapped out my own meals. and this is actually my October, November, so this is like week 1. So it's 2 different ones. So this one here, the first one, it's wet. Yeah, it was wet before because I've been love doing. But the first one is actually where it helps you map it out for the week.
Oh, super, right? Tiffany.
Yeah, and it comes with, so when you get the book, you get goodies. And so the second one is where you map it out like for the month, where like, okay, here's week 1. Here's what I'm having for week 1. Here's what I'm having for week 2. And then like I break. And so basically these recipes, what's on here came from my book. These are recipes from my book, pretty much. Okay. And so it was to help people who are trying to organize themselves on a kind of plan for the week, that they can organize it here and they can select recipes from the book and other places too, depending on what works for them. Yeah.
So Tiffany, you know Bella, I got to peel the onion back just a little bit. So name the book again that you just talked about with the weekly planner.
This is my book, Cooking Healthy with Tiffany. Okay. So and this is a download that comes with the book. So when you order the book, in the back, if you go to that website link in the back of the book, it will actually show, this will come up and you print it out as many times as you want for your weeks to help you plan your meals. And then when you also do it,
got a lot of followers. Tawana's saying it's amazing cookbook, Cooking Healthy with Tiffany.
Yeah, Tawana has it. Yep.
Yeah, Tiffany, I'm going to go back in the last few minutes that we have because I want the audience to know the connection we have. And Bella's got to make a point. Bella's always got to make a point. So when we met, I forgot the year, back in 2000. It
must be like 2000. Let me see. I started training in 2000.
Because I want to give Lisa Tanker a shout out, but I can't remember the year that when we met.
I want to say it was maybe 11.
Okay, we're going to go with, so I want the audience to know. So around about 2011, when I first met Tiffany, we had a mutual coach. She was at the time my niece by marriage, and it was a good friend of Tiffany's. And with the point out Bella wants to make tonight, and after everything that you've heard, I'm going to use myself as a sacrificial lamb. I was not mentally ready. My niece coached me, and I was like, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. And she basically said, Aunt Linda, put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to give you the course for free. It wasn't about the money. It was about the intent, right? I came into the program, and I met Tiffany. Again, it's all God, no accident. But at the time, Tiffany was committed. And she did become the poster child. What is my point I'm making tonight, audience? You got to have your mindset. I came in the program, not necessarily, I got a free program, it's my niece. No, I came in there fumbling with really no intention to lose weight, because the things that we got to go there, Tiffany, the things that told me, I was like, are you kidding me? Really? My mind wasn't set. Yeah. And I fumbled the ball about 4 weeks. I tried, and I told Tiffany, I'm getting up out of here. True 100. I can't do this. Yeah, mine wasn't ready.
Yeah, it was. Oh, Shanta, by the way, it's Dare the number 2 love you. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see it. I was happy. Thank you.
Let's free somebody tonight, Tiffany, because I wanted to be transparent about that.
But you know what, Bella, you hit it on the head though, because to lose the amount of weight that I've lost, y'all, it was a mindset shift. That was it right there, Bella. Like your mind, like I was like, I had tunnel vision because I was like, I got to do something. Like it was like, I must do this. I have to do this. I can and I will do this. And when I first started with Lisa, the thing that kept me going was that when on them days I really didn't want to go, is that I was determined that I had to get off the meds, and I wanted to love how I looked in the mirror. Like, I didn't like the way I looked. Even though when I got glammed up, people, you couldn't tell me nothing, but on the inside, I was really going through something emotionally on the inside. But you would never, I wore a mask for a long time because I was like, hey, always smiling. But on the inside, I was crumbling because I was hurt. I was broken. I was sad because I had all this weight on me. Struggling with relationships and self-esteem and whatnot. But on the outside, you wouldn't ever know, because on the outside, I was like a superstar. And so it was like, okay, I got to do something so that I feel good on the inside. And I had to really talk to myself and say, okay, Tiffany, you got to do something now for sure. Like, I really got to do this because I wanted to see the result. I wanted to get off the meds. And I wanted to also prove to myself for once that I could do something. and that it would impact me in a greater way because I had knee issues and everything else. I was tired of wearing all the girdles,
right,
and all that other stuff that was going on. I was just like, I just want to go in a store and be able to buy a regular outfit and not have to worry about, oh man, they don't have my size, you know? And so I just thank God for him allowing me to connect with Lisa, because it was in that connection that I discovered that I was an emotional eater. And, you know, it was in that connection that I pushed myself in a way that I never knew I could. Because I graduated from high school wearing a size 22. I have always been a plus size girl. So to be able to see myself in a different way and transform like that, and then turn around and step on stage to be a figure competitor, that was a whole nother thing. But I was beasting, and I couldn't believe it at what I was doing. I was like, this is different. But like Bella said, it's a mindset shift. Like I had to get to a point where, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Uh-oh, you on mute, Bella.
Shanta may want to say something, but I know for me, that's the part of why we do this show, right? This is Wellness Wednesday on Tried, Tested, Conquered. We all have been tried, we all have been tested, and we all are conquered through some phase of life. But I wanted to be transparent and free somebody tonight. You must study and show yourself approved. And number one is get your mind right. Because I'm telling you all, it caused discourse within a relationship of my family because I was not ready and I was faking the fall. Shanta?
I mean, I agree. If you're not ready, it's a waste of everybody's time. And I'm a firm believer. Listen, you ain't gonna waste my time nor my money. Because neither one of them can I can just get back. So I agree with you. And yes, we've all been tried. We've all been tested. And this platform, you're absolutely right, is to show that, you know what? By the grace of God, we conquered that thing that was trying to conquer us. So we are more than a conqueror through Jesus Christ. And we know that, and that's what this is for. We are all fabulous and great in our own ways, but it's like there's a story, and that story leading you from your pain to your purpose. That's what the world needs, especially right now.
Oh, yeah.
We have so much craziness going on, and the rhythm of the world right now is just all over the place. So I feel like if we can give a little bit of God, you know what I'm saying? That God that's on the inside of us. You know what? I love you so much, baby. I'm going to help you eat well. I love you so much. I'm going to speak into your life every time I open my mouth. I love you so much that I want you to grow to your best place, your best you, And so to me, that's what this is all about. So I'm grateful, and I'm looking forward to Wellness Wednesday. Today was our very first Wellness Wednesday, and it has been great from the beginning till now, and what better way to end it, with dinner or muffins. You know what I'm saying?
I think they
Now, audience, remember what we said. Now, Tiffany's only cooking 6. Did we not say Shanta gets 3 and Bella gets 3? Okay.
Now, see, now you're speaking French, because we. I did not say we. I said me. Me is gonna get 6.
Tiffany, you're gonna have to squash this with the two of us, because we got 3. We got 6 on one side, 3 on the other. Who gets what?
Oh God.
So they're done. I want a second pop them out so you can see them without them being in the pan.
Oh yeah,
great.
I added a few chips on the top as a little treat. So let's see if I can pop a couple of them out. Let's see.
Okay,
COVID-19 be gone, Shanta.
Go.
and look, so it's like somebody said, it's like I just thank God for the gifts, y'all.
Yes.
Because somebody had put a post the other day when they saw, I think it was Monday night, because I put my hair, because I did my own hair. That's another gift, y'all. Another story.
Okay.
I tell you what, Robin F. Davis said, okay, Shanta, we can share small portions.
I'm 6 feet tall. Didn't we discuss this? Small is not in my vocabulary. I need a handful.
It's not gonna work, Robin. It's not gonna work.
Okay, so Tiffany, you were saying about you did your own hair. We're gonna talk about that next week.
Everything I put my hands to is always something beautiful that comes out of it.
Oh, you better go ahead. I ain't mad.
I said, and when I saw the post, I said, well, I just thank God for the gifts. Because I love, and I guess food is just one of the things that I just enjoy creating up stuff. Because I have another part of my company that right now is on pause. My goal one day is to have a store. but I have a part of my company. If you look it up on Facebook, the page is still, I think, live, and it's called the Yummy Jar.
Ah.
And so that's another part of my business that I haven't done yet, but that also involves cooking.
We gotta hold back, Tiffany. This is Bella. You gotta hold back because I know about them yummy jars. Oh, baby.
So the Yummy Jar is another one that has become really popular, and I know that at some point I'm gonna have to bring that back too. But those require more work. I'm gonna need a whole staff for those but it kept me busy all over Atlanta. And so when I started reflecting recently, I'm like, gosh, I do a lot of stuff with food.
Like, yeah, I tell you, I know who's on this line. Thank you, Gwen McClendon, for joining us. Gwen would love those yummy jars. So let me ask you this question as we close out. Tiffany, are you in the capacity to deliver locally or out of state? Because Miss Gwen lives in California.
Can I have those?
Not yet. Not with the yummy jars. I actually need to figure that out at some point because the yummy jars is like, ooh. When I tell you about
yummy jars.
Look at that.
And show it on the screen. We can't eat them.
Can y'all see them? Let me I'm gonna take a tilt a little bit without dropping them on the floor because
they look delicious.
Ladies.
So we use basic ingredients, right, y'all? Right?
Right.
Yeah, oatmeal. We had
oatmeal.
A little bit of extract flavoring. We had and we had some nutmeg. I mean cinnamon, right?
Right.
Simple ingredients that are all healthy. That literally we had a whole conversation in 20 minutes they were done. So knowing what I would do with these is put them in a container, slightly crack it so it won't make them sweat overnight. And I would get them in the morning, and sometimes I can eat them cold, but I like to warm them up a little bit, and I'm good to go. I used to have them with coffee, but I don't drink coffee anymore. But now I have it with tea. So tomorrow I got some breakfast. If my husband don't eat these, because he loves it.
Wow.
Listen, I don't want to look at them no more because I can't have one.
That is torture,
Sean. So look, since both of y'all are local, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to really figure out something the next couple of weeks where I just make some stuff for y'all. So y'all can
yes, please.
Especially so wait, now Shanta, are you vegetarian, Shanta? Or are you
No, but I am allergic to pork and beef. That's a whole nother story.
Oh, I don't do either one. There's not one pork or beef recipe in this book. Not one. So I have this recipe that has been like hitting like fire. In the book, it's the Fiesta rice.
Okay.
So I may have to make that for y'all.
Yes. And you know what, Bella? It sounds like we're going to invite her to the studio and just go ahead and give her the address and say.
People on the line too. Joining us, Kenosha, we appreciate you. We got some local people here from the ATL, Tiffany. What you gonna do about that?
I know. I'm gonna have to come through.
So, all right. So we know that they can order your book at Dare to Love You, Dare number 2, loveyou.com. Yeah. All right. And so, and all of the recipes, what you shared with us tonight and much more is in that book, correct?
Dare, the number 2, loveyou.com. They can order right there from the website. And when you order from the website, I personally autograph them.
Wow.
We get a little bookmark that goes with it, and some of my other stuff. You also get another little coupon that comes with it as well. But I also autograph them and package them and ship them out to you. Yep.
Well, I want you to know we don't discriminate, Shanta. We got Mr. Eugene Poole. Thank you for joining us. I mean,
Mr. Poole, yes, women, right? From the DMV. Thank you, sir. Listen, I am ordering my book tonight, young lady. Blessingly, I have this year I've lost right at 52 pounds, and I was trying, right? So now I'm trying to find other things to do to help me maintain without having to go back, because I promise you, I was about to go back online and order. I don't really want to do that. I want to learn a better way, and I think Grace, thank you, Jesus. I think you just gave me that way. So I will be ordering tonight. I want to sum this up with this: 80 pounds. When I say to you, Tiffany, girl,
Mm.
you know you lost 80 pounds. What is your response?
Yes. And it was no joke. And as we continue this story, I'm gonna also talk about what happens afterward because I
Okay.
have another journey that happened to me after that.
Mm.
Because
Okay.
because what happens is when you lose, now it's how do you maintain it? How do you deal with when your scale starts going the other way? How do you reel it back in when you start doubting whether you can do this again? Like I like to
Right.
be all the way 100 because people look at you and they think that no, this ain't easy. This right here ain't for the weak.
Right.
Like when I tell you, like it's a constant journey. It never ends. Like you don't just arrive and lose the 80 pounds. Like okay, I'm good. I'm just gonna chill. No, there's another piece to this, and so that's where I like to like. I feel like that's when certain things happen to me, like over the last couple of years, I said, okay, God, why am I going through this? This is not for me because the things that we go through, they're for other people
Come on now.
to equip you now to help somebody else get over something else. Like,
Well,
because sometimes they'll see you on one, they'll see you, okay, that was the first version of the story. But do you want to hear the other next part of the story? Because there's more to the story.
come on
You
now.
know? And so, like, I look at it now, I used to be really sad. All I do now is I look at, okay, how do I now use this to now help others? Because I'm going through this now to be able to be even stronger, because now I'm even more real. So now I can
Right.
yes, I had this experience now. Here's how I'm dealing with this. Here's the season I'm in now and how I'm working through this. Because I know that I've come so far and now I can tell you how I'm going to move on the next level of this. Because one of the things I'm learning is that the more transparent you are about your journey, the
Come on
more
now.
the more real you are, the more people will love you. And so
Yes.
I'm in a space now in my life at almost 45 in January that where you know what I feel so good just telling you just how it is. I ain't got to put no facade for you. I can keep it as my tell. I'm from New York, all the way 100. I look forward to this journey with you all because I want to continue to tell the story because it's more to the story of the 80 pound loss. There's a lot more to tell, and how important now the wellness journey is for me, and how the next phase of my journey has took my wellness to a whole nother level,
Mm.
and how what I'm going even through now is helping me help other people. Because what I also discovered on my journey, this next phase, is that in the first phase of the 80 pounds, it was such a focus on the physical realm, getting the physical realm together. But sometimes we skip some of the things that's going on the inside. Some of the things that we do surface stuff. We don't dig as deep as we need to. And so in this new journey I'm on, I'm digging even deeper. Like I got a whole team of folks. We're gonna talk about that because wellness really is also about the mental and emotional well-being. Because
Yes.
it's hard for you to be healthy because the things that are going on inside
Come on now.
manifest on the outside.
Yes.
So if I'm not taking care of my mental and spiritual realm, I'm not taking care of that part of it, then I can do this all day long. But guess what? It's going to catch up with me after a while.
Yeah.
And if we don't do a holistic approach, guess what? We're not taking care of ourselves.
We're not taking.
We're not fully well. So that's a whole other story.
Ooh. Tiffany, I'm telling you, tried, tested, conquered, know all about it. I have several people on here that I like to thank for supporting us at OPNS 97.1. But more importantly, we're about keeping it 100 and speaking the truth. I thank you, my sister, my queen. We celebrate you, do we not, Shanta, for being
Yes.
transparent and
Yes.
possibly freeing somebody? Because what we do know, sisters, we got to stick together and we have got to be transparent. We cannot do this alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
people who need us. People are suffering now. We
Yes.
ain't got time for the filters. We ain't got time for the
Come on.
like
Right.
y'all don't get me started. Like I mean, like I'm just in a space right now, y'all. Ooh,
Come on.
we don't for it no more. We just don't.
I tell people, and I've been saying it all year, God calls the pause in the land
Mm.
to take and elevate
Ooh.
those that were once convinced that they were beneath. He took and made it a level playing field for all of the fake and the phony and the hoopla and all of that stuff that was, shining in the bright lights, and the lights was a distraction. And it was like there was a cover up of the real.
Come on.
The platform now is you got to bring it real. People are so hurt and so mangled and so damaged and so disappointed right now that they ain't got time for your fake and phony.
Come
You
on.
know, my apostle tells me, she says, Shanta, baby, your sarcasm is just beautiful. I don't call it sarcasm. I just tell you that in this season, this seasoned season of my life, I can smell your bull a mile away.
Come
So I'm gonna need
on.
my face to tell you not happening. I'm gonna need whatever energy that I'm getting off to tell you go that way, because we're not doing that in this season. I'm not interested in anything that is not keeping it real,
Yeah.
helping me grow to my best place that God has set up for me, and being able to be a good steward over what he blesses me with. And I believe that in this season, God is connecting kingdom-minded people,
Yeah.
just like what is on this live tonight. The people that have tuned in. You got to have a, what did you say, Bella? A
Come on.
right now mind. You said that,
Right
Tiffany. You
now.
got to have a made up mind, because if your mind ain't made up, then you wasting my time. So, you know, tried, tested, girl, you look great as a conqueror. I'm telling you now. And
Amen.
I'm looking forward to next Wellness Wednesday. I really do believe, Bella, that she went ahead and set us up for next Wednesday. And I don't know if you saw what I put, but I'm going to put it back up on the board, because it ended saying there's more to this story. I
Oh,
heard you, Tiffany.
yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the more. This has been good, ladies. Great, great, great. Thank you to everybody that did not consider it robbery to tune in. Hey, you could have been somewhere else, but you know what? Right here at OPNS 97.1, we grow best. What, Bella? Together.
Together.
So on that note, Tiffany, don't you go nowhere, guys. We love you. And until we meet again, what is wrong with my mouth? Maybe I need one of your muffins. Maybe that's what it is. And if I get a muffin, this tongue will get.
She get three. I get three, Tiffany. 3-3, Tiffany. 3-3.
Listen, so I say again, guys, listeners, viewers, go be great, go fulfill your purpose, and know that it's not too late. Because if you are under the sound of our voice right now and something resonated in your mind and in your spirit that came out of one of us three ladies, God is trying to tell you something. Are you listening? This is Shanta Moore, Miss Bella Biz, and our awesome guest, Miss Tiffany Kelly from Cooking with Tiffany. Here we go, guys. We'll see you soon. Mwah! God bless.
I want my muffins. I want my muffins.